Hey y'all, I'm Cody, it's time to catch up. Grab your headphones and fill your cup. Sports and life, I've got stories to share. Sit back, relax like you just don't care.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Catching Up with Cody podcast. I'm your host, as always, Cody. Busy weekend last weekend. A couple different things went on. Friday, I went and saw Wicked. Saturday night, went out with a couple buddies and my girlfriend. Sunday was family Christmas with the immediate family, so that went well. And then Monday was the Pistons game. Shout out my cousin for those. So overall, busy weekend. Finally now just relaxing and actually taking some time with the podcast and doing some stuff to it. I just actually got a desk, so now I kind of got my own little podcast set up, which is kind of cool. I'm excited for that. So yeah, just a couple little things going on, but I'm still enjoying the podcast thing. Thank you everybody again for liking, viewing, and subscribing my last video. It went well. So I'm excited to keep it going. So let's get into it today. So first was the movie. Went and saw Wicked. It was good. I was a little confused in some parts. My girlfriend, obviously, she knew what was going on. So she kind of, described it a little bit to me in some of the parts that I was confused on. Overall, good movie. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. So to me, it was another movie. I don't mean to say that in any rude way or anything, but just wasn't my cup of tea. So good songs though. I sang along to a couple of them. The ending for sure, but long movie. We went actually at the 9:00 show, and didn't realize it was a 3-hour movie. So you can kind of see how that went. But she had a good time. I had a good time. It was just a good night out. And like I said, allegedly there's a second one that comes out. So I'm sure we're going to go see that, which is fine. Maybe it'll make more sense because there was some parts I was confused about that I guess are in the second part. From what I got out of it, I guess you have to kind of see the musical because there's an intermission and then the second part, which answers some of the questions that you might have in the first one. Again, like I said, I was really confused, but that's just me. So, but overall, good movie, and we'll be seeing the second one, I'm sure. So, the next thing that happened this weekend was Saturday. Went to an art show out in Novi. That was pretty cool. Honestly, a lot of interesting stuff. Some of it was cool art. We got a couple different things that people were selling, and some of it I wish I could have thought of, and then turn around and sell that stuff. And some of it's just resale stuff. People get something on TikTok Shop or Temu or somewhere in that area and just turn around and resell, which is kind of crappy in that aspect because it's not really your work. You're just turning around and selling it. Whereas some of these people actually put time and effort into their work. Like I said, there was some cool stuff. We got a Santa Claus that was made out of a like a house shingle. So that was kind of cool. House shingle, old glasses, and then just painted. So that was kind of cool. There was a couple like the t-shirts kind of confused me. As far as I don't know if that's really supposed to be at a craft show. A lot of 3D printed things. So that was cool. Trying to think what else was really there. Lots of Christmas, lots of Lion stuff was actually hilarious to me because 3 or 4 years ago you wouldn't be seeing all this stuff everywhere around, and now you do because they're good. And I guess piggybacking off of that, we can quickly talk about that Lions game. Unfortunately, tough loss. Like I said, the score looks better than how the game was played. Going into that first quarter even, we did not look good. I do want to talk about this. More injuries, so that's always unfortunate. Um, with the Montgomery going down is going to be our toughest loss. And I know we lost Carlton Davis as well. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're up to 16 or 18 defensive players on injury. And that's just the defense alone. Now you're looking offenses, David Montgomery, Ali McNeil. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to try to figure this out. I mean, Buffalo is a good team. We knew going into it that it was gonna be possibly a loss. I mean, everybody had this on the calendar as probably the hardest game of the season. I know I did. I mean, we're 12-2. I mean, at the end of it, I know I've gotten caught up in the thing of, season's over, this and that. We're not going to make the Super Bowl and everything like that. And I did hear not Jared Goff, sorry, Dan Campbell's press conference after the loss. I mean, and he was right. I mean, we have to know what it's like to lose. We haven't lost since week 2. We've been blowing teams out, so we haven't really had a close game up until now. I mean, and you're looking at Buffalo. I mean, Josh Allen he's playing like he's not even human. 362 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, even Goff on the other end. I mean, 2 MVP quarterbacks here. I mean, 494 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. And that touchdown thing is actually hilarious to me because there is a stat that I believe he's the first quarterback to throw 5 touchdowns in a game and lose, and then 5 interceptions in a game and win. Again, to me, that's crazy. Again, 2 different games, though. I mean, I think this is a foreshadow of the Super Bowl. I'm hoping. With Patrick Mahomes hurt, I think that Kansas City kind of falls apart. I mean, again, when we talked about this in other podcasts, they are not a one-loss team. I mean, they should have a good 6, 7 losses. They're just getting lucky. So, I mean, it's tough. I was talking to a couple coworkers the other day, and it's tough because any other season, you're not at you're sitting your people at this point. So it's like we shouldn't be doing this. So I'm hoping for a better rest of the season. Like I said, and like Dan Campbell said, I mean, realistically, we needed to lose. We don't know what a loss feels like. We haven't lost since week 2. So to kind of go in there and lose, it gives us that taste in our mouth of, okay, this is what a loss feels like. I mean, we got 3 games left. So it's looking more and more that Minnesota game is going to be it's probably going to be flexed to a Sunday night game. And it's going to mean that the division might even be the number 1. Again, it sucks because 12-2, any other team at 12-2, any other season, you're good. You got the division locked up. You got the number 1 seed locked up. But not this year. I mean, you got Philly, we have Detroit, you have Minnesota, and I mean Green Bay's right around the corner. I mean, they got 3 losses, so I don't know. I'm just worried about these injuries, but we'll see what happens. So that's that. I mean, go Lions. But yeah, it's going to be a dogfight going into the rest of the season. So, but back to what I was saying before. So we had Christmas on Sunday with the family, so that was nice. I got some good gifts. Shout out my parents for a couple of the gifts for the apartment and a future house when we think about getting that, which could be coming up potentially soon. We're looking at next year, looking at pre-approval and everything like that. So it's it's looking like sometime next year we'll be in our own house, which will be nice. So I got a couple good things. I got a shop vac. We got a crock pot, heater, tower fan. Couple good things. So, and I got some cool things for my brothers and parents. So hopefully they all liked it. But yeah, it was just nice to get with family, and these holidays are creeping up. I mean, we're looking at, when I'm recording this, we're looking at the 18th. So I mean, we're 1 week until Christmas Day. So I know I've talked about it in a couple episodes, but it's flew by. I mean, the year's almost over. You're looking at what, 3 weeks, I believe, 2.5 till the year's over. So it's bittersweet. Like I said, we have a big New Year's Eve party coming up, so I'm excited for that. But also, I mean, I feel like 2024 just started. So, but again, like I said, nice to be with family. Nice to see everybody. I'm going to be with them again Christmas Day. We're going to see Jamie's side on Christmas Eve. And then with New Year's, like I said, New Year's Eve, we have that party. And then New Year's Day, usually we get with family and just hang out and relax. So, but yeah, hopefully everybody has a good holiday. I'm going to try to get this video out by Christmas, hopefully before, if not right after Christmas. And then I can also talk about how my holidays went and go from there. But so that was that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Pistons game. Haven't gone to the Pistons game since opening night. Haven't really been following them lately. I used to be a huge Pistons fan, and then, I mean, we all know what happened last year with horrible waste of a season. So, haven't really been paying attention to them all that often. But we won, shockingly. What a wild game is all I want to say. We looked good first half. I was actually excited the way they were playing and everything like that. We were up 17 going into the fourth quarter. And I'm like, okay, I was thinking about leaving early. Like I said, I was excited on how they played. I was just tired. It was a late game. And after working and everything, I was kind of thinking of an early exit for us leaving. And but no, they blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. So ended up Tyler Hero hit pretty much a buzzer beater to send it in overtime. I was just in shock. First off, I was shocked how many Heat fans were there. I mean, there was one whole section of just Heat fans. They were pretty loud at a couple points in time, especially, like I said, on that fourth quarter run. When they did end up coming back. Not a lot of Pistons fans. I mean, parking was easy. Nobody's really in the parking garage. And then even on the concourse, just walking around on the concourse, you could just tell that there was no fans. Again, I mean, we're doing a hell of a lot better than we did last year. We're looking at the standings here. We are 11-16, 5-7 at home. So we're looking good. Miami is 13-11, so I mean we're not too far behind them. So I'm hoping we can make playoffs. It would be nice to get some playoffs in LCA. I did notice that a couple weeks ago that there has not been a playoff game in LCA, whether it be Wings or Pistons, since that building opened. Not shocked, but again, I mean, there hasn't been playoffs in Ford Field up until last year. So Detroit's turning it around. Like I said, I like this team. We're young. I think we're starting to get the talent that we need. I mean, again, Cade gets a triple-double, 20, 18, and 11. So the only reason, honestly, that we won that game in overtime is because of Tim Hardaway Jr. The man was hitting up threes. I mean, he was 50% for threes that night, 5 for 10. And honestly, I think 3 or 4 of them came in the in the last couple minutes of that overtime game. So, I mean, he brought us right back. I mean, putting up 16. And yeah, everybody did what they needed to do. I mean, I'm looking here. We had, well, Zurich had 19, but I mean, we almost had three people in the 20s, 20 plus range. We had Beasley with 28, Cade with 20, Duran 9, Hardaway 16, and Azure Thompson 19. So, I mean, overall, we played great. So hopefully we can keep this up. It's a good win beating Miami. They are a good team. I know there was some Jimmy Butler rumors. I'm actually going to put a picture of what Jimmy Butler's hair looked like that night. Orange, bright orange. Kind of weird, but I know he's known for having those weird hairstyles. I remember, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, he had the long hair parted to one side. So, but yeah, overall, like I said, I had a good time. The atmosphere was cool for the people that were there. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a nail biter. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully these Detroit teams can keep it up, and we'll go from there. I know the end of the month I'm going to the Wings game, so that'll be fun. Haven't gone to a Wings game yet this year. I mean, I know they're not playing the greatest either, so it's sad as a big sports fan. It's sad to see these Detroit teams. Other than, I mean, like I said, we got the Lions, we have the Tigers that are finally on the come up. I'm hoping that either the Pistons or the Wings can break through, and all of our Detroit teams will be back. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, had a good time. It was overall a busy weekend, and just getting ready for the holidays next. So thank you guys for listening. I'm going to try to get some TikToks up this week. And yeah, just keep liking, subscribing, viewing, and appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So thanks for listening to Catch Up with Cody, and peace.
Time to catch up. Grab your headphones and fill your cup. Sports and life, I've got stories to share. Sit back, relax like you just don't care.